The Ashtavakra Gita, Part 3, Chapter 3. Part 3 consists of Chapter 3, in which Ashtavakra tells King Janaka about the self, about the Atma being in all and everything, and about all and everything being in the Atma. Chapter. Ashtavakra listens to Janaka's expression of marvel on knowing the Atma. Then Ashtavakra says to him, once a person knows the self, once a person knows the Atma in its true nature as being eternal and non-dual, then where is the passion for earning wealth for a poised person of such wisdom? Once a person knows and understands the true nature of the self, once a person knows and understands the true nature of the Atma, then he no longer has the passion for earning wealth. O disciple, because of our ignorance, we mistake a seashell for silver. We become attached to it, and therefore we desire it, we seek it. In the same way, due to our ignorance of the self, due to our ignorance of the Atma, there is our attachment to the unreal and illusory world of the senses. And therefore, we desire it, therefore we seek it. Once you have realized, I am that, meaning, once you have realized that I am that Brahm, from whom the universe comes out like the waves of the sea, then why do you still continue to behave like a wretched creature and run after that very universe which you very well know to be illusory? Even after you have heard and understood that the self, that the Atma is pure consciousness, that it is unsurpassedly beautiful, then why do you still become deeply entangled with sex and get tarnished? Realizing the self in all beings and all beings in the self, realizing the Atma in all beings and all beings in the Atma, it is indeed surprising that the man of wisdom still continues to be egoistic, because it is well known that the supreme knowledge of the self destroys all ego attachment and involvement. Having realized the transcendent non-duality and having become fixed in the goal of liberation, having become fixed in the goal of attaining the Supreme Self, it is indeed strange that a person still comes under the sway of lust and is distraught and is distracted by sexual habits. It is well known that upsurge of sex is the great enemy of knowledge. Therefore, again, it is strange that even after knowing that the upsurging sex is the great enemy of knowledge, one who is extremely feeble and weak and who is approaching his end, he should still desire sexual gratification. Those who are wise, they are free from attachment to the world and to heaven. They are able to discriminate between what is ephemeral, what is transitory and temporary, and what is permanent and everlasting, what is eternal, and they aspire after salvation. However, It is strange that even such wise people dread salvation. Even such wise people fear salvation, since it is known that dissociation from the body and the objects of the senses is known to cause anxiety. The wise man who always sees the absolute self, who always sees the Param Atma, such a one, when he is honored or when he is tormented by the world, he is neither happy nor is he angry. He remains totally unaffected. The great man who is wise, he witnesses his own active body. He views his own active body. He looks at his own active body as that of another. Such being the case, then how can such a person be perturbed by praise or by blame? By praise or by blame, since he does not see these as being directed towards him. Having realized that this world is illusory, the wise man loses all zest and zeal. Then, having realized that the world is illusory and having lost all zest and zeal, why would the person of poised intelligence be frightened by the nearness of death? Nearness of death would not frighten such a person of poised intelligence. There can be no comparison whatsoever with a great person whose mind is free from desire, even in frustration, and who experiences delight in his self-knowledge, who experiences delight in his knowledge of the Atma. Such a person is indeed incomparable. The person of poised intelligence knows that the world that he sees, the visible world, that visible world by its very nature has no substance. And since he knows that the visible world has no substance, he considers nothing in such a world as either acceptable or as rejectable. So he neither accepts nor rejects anything. For the person who has abandoned, for the person who has given up the passions of the mind, who is above the duality of attributes and who has risen above them, and who is desireless, for such a one, any experience that comes to him as a matter of course, any experience that comes to him as a matter of routine, gives him neither pleasure nor pain. Yes, such experiences that come to him as a matter of course, as a matter of routine, give him neither pleasure nor pain. This concludes the third chapter and the third part of the Ashtavakra Gita. Om Shanti, 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 Om.